Hey everybody, it's that time again. It's time for Diary of a Physicist Farmgal. My name is Deborah and I'm coming to you from here on my family farm in the foothills of the Arkansas Ozarks, where I like to do all the crafts. I knit, I crochet, I sew, I quilt. I make baskets, I make jewelry, I do needlework. I'll try any craft once and twice if I like it. I am also a university professor at a local regional university where I teach courses to physics majors, to pre-PT and pre-med majors. I teach astronomy and meteorology and physical science, and I'm also a docent at our planetarium. And I'm very active in our Center for Excellence in Teaching and Academic Leadership, where I am a mentor, an early career coach, and I am also often lead book groups or participate in book groups and things like that, and you hear about those through my podcast. Last but not least, I am a farmer. I am a third-plus generation family farmer here on this land that my family's lived on for over a century. I raise grass-fed beef cattle. I raise horses. I have a small flock of heritage poultry. I have show quality rabbits, and I have a retirement herd of miniature horses, miniature donkeys, a miniature mule named Pumpkin who thinks she rules the roost, and Princess Penny, the potbelly pig, the somewhat protector of the poultry, the semi-retired protector of the poultry. And as you can tell from my sweet little co-host, Willie here, I am fur kid mom to several dogs and cats and an outside clouder of barn cats. So if any of all of that sounds interesting to you, I hope you'll come along and join us on Diary of a Physicist Farmgal. Okay, if you're looking for us on social media, you can find me on Ravelry and on Instagram as Doc Firewoman. You can also find on Facebook a group for the podcast Diary of a Physicist Farmgal, where you can post and share things. Also, there is a Ravelry group for the podcast, but it's not particularly active right now. And I'm doing Vlogust this month. I am doing daily vlogs, little short daily vlogs of just kind of what's going on day to day. I'm also on that. I'm sharing some Oracle cards that I'm going through a couple of my decks and talking about those. And I just kind of show you what goes on out here at the farm or what's going on in my day-to-day life. Just a little short, maybe 10 or 20 minutes long at the most. So if you'd like to join in on that, that'd be awesome. Also, I am on Twitter, but I am a left-leaning, socially liberal Democrat, and that kind of stuff bothers you, you're probably not still here. You're probably not still here, but just in case you're new, that's me. And if that kind of stuff bothers you, probably shouldn't follow me on Twitter or really anywhere. Really anywhere, because I am becoming more and more outspoken. And go Kansas! Yes, go Kansas! I am so overjoyed with what Kansas did. And if you don't know, go look it up. I forgot to say, and I need to start doing this. I apologize. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And so, yes. Anyway, I am those places. If you want to participate in giveaways, you do need to fill out my Google form. And you do need to be a subscriber to the podcast. You need to be over 18. Your giveaway does not have any monetary value, and it will not be replaced if it's lost, damaged, or stolen. And it is not sponsored in any way by YouTube or any of its affiliates. So fill those out. And there is a Ko-fi for the podcast if you want to help donate. Thank you to those who donate. I have some people who have started donating regularly. I guess Willie's done with me. And I appreciate that so very much. It helps pay for the postage. I've got prizes ready to mail out, and I'm going to go to town on Monday. So I should be able to mail out the prizes to everyone who won the last few episodes. So last time we had a giveaway for the autonomy pattern. We are doing a knit along for Romy Hill, Designs by Romy, her autonomy cowl. Autonomy is fashioned after the bandanas and neckerchiefs that women in Argentina, I believe it was Argentina, wore during the pro-reproductive choice rallies that they had there. And she has created a knitting pattern that is very short. It's very straightforward. It's a good beginner knitting pattern. And we are having the Autonomy August cowl. And I've changed this 2 or 3 times, but this is what I've settled on. Autonomy August cowl. Put it right there. Autonomy August cowl. And you can participate. I am going to do a little giveaway at the end of that. If you participate via Instagram on the hashtag, you can go there. Now, it's only for the month of August, but this cowl, I mean, Cindy sat down and knitted in one evening. I'm not that fast, but I did get quite a ways on it in just the one day that I worked on it. We did have a cast on party on July 31st. We will probably meet up again on a weekend and have another cowl or a day that we'll knit together. But anyway, so we have a giveaway for the autonomy pattern. I was giving away 2 copies of this pattern, and there were 8 people who said they wanted the pattern. Okay, so the random number, they used autonomy, which was the key word in the pattern or in the comment. So the 2 people that it drew out were Vanessa. So Vanessa, if you already have it, let me know and I'll go to somebody else because I don't know if you already have it. But Vanessa, and then Sticks and Strings and Other Things, it drew you out. So if you haven't filled out my Google form, please do that so I know what your Ravelry username is and stuff like that. So those are the 2 it drew out. Thank you to everybody who participated in the drawing. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate all the good conversation. So this week's giveaway is actually a donation from my friend Ashley. She loves black work, and she bought this pattern, and she has been she started it, and I don't believe she said she finished. I don't believe she said she finished it, I think, or she was doing it and was going to finish it and then just didn't. So it does have some markings on the pattern where she's highlighted things, but it is still in very good shape. It is Contemplation by Cross Stitch Meets Black Work, Berlin Embroidery Designs, okay? And I know she purchased this from our local needlework shop. So if you would like to do Contemplation, okay, just use the word contemplation in the comment below, and I'll give this away the next time I do a regular podcast episode. Vlogust is a different deal. So just the regular podcast episode, if you'll comment contemplation, you might win the kitty cat. Okay. So I think that's all the administrative stuff. If not, oh well. We'll worry about it next time, right? We did the giveaway. I told you I'm liberal and I might make you skin crawl if you don't like that. So we checked that off the box. Yay for Kansas, gave away stuff. We're good. Okay, I don't have any finished objects this time, so we're going to move straight on to works in progress. Okay, so works in progress are a mixed bag of things. So I'm going to start with this. This is the Mandala Doily by Aunt Lydia's Crochet. This is a free pattern found on the Yarnspirations website. And I am doing this in rainbow colors. I am using Aunt Lydia's crochet thread. And I am doing this in rainbow colors. I had started on the yellow after the orange, but I noticed that I had made a mistake in the orange, so I had to rip back. So I haven't put the yellow back on yet. But this is a, I think it's about a 17 round doily. And I thought it would be perfect to do Roy G. Biv, except I'm reversing it and doing the double rainbow because it reverses as it goes back out. And that has to do with when you look at a rainbow, what you're seeing is reflections from a lot of different raindrops. And blue light bends more than red light when it goes into the raindrop because it refracts. As it goes from air to water, it changes its speed and it does this thing called refraction, and blue does that more than red, so it disperses the colors from white light or sunlight into the colors. But then at the angle, depending on the angle you're looking at, you'll see the red, you know, the Roy G. Biv colors, and then it'll reverse in the secondary bow. All right, because of the angle that you're looking at it. So I decided to start with the purple in the middle. But anyway, so here you go. So there's my doily. And I'm getting ready to start the yellow. This is just Aunt Lydia's crochet thread that some of it I had, some of it I had to order, but I thought it would be pretty that way. So got that, getting close to being done on that. Okay, the next work in progress I have is in one of Charlotte's April 9 Designs bags here. It is the Cumulus cowl. I have put a few more rounds on this. This is I'm working on this because this month is purple is gray for Jessica 2 Sticks and Strings Color Your Stash. So I'm about halfway through, I think. If you knit to the pattern, I'm about halfway through on it. So this is being knit in Nerd Girl yarns. The gray is Abnegation and the multicolor is Back from Earth. It is their cashmere merino base, and this is the, like I said, this is the Cumulus Cowl by Knitting Expat, and it is a texture that is reminiscent of her Changes shawl. So there it is. Okay, so working on that a little bit. Then I had started a shawl to take with me to Mystic South, and I worked on it a little bit. It is a good meeting knitting slash, and I'm still in the middle of a row. This is the Sweet November shawl, and it is, I'm in the middle of a row, which is terrible. Can't really show you much, but it is a mesh, triangular mesh shawl. It's very straightforward knitting, okay? It's very straightforward knitting, and it is a, I believe it is a free pattern on Ravelry by Carol Pierre. So the Sweet November shawl. Okay, and that is being knit in some alpaca merino yarn that I bought at the Preston Rose Brewery Craft Show a few years ago. It is locally raised alpaca. Okay, so yeah, it's a very, very easy knit, very easy to keep up with, and it's perfect for meetings or whatever. So very, very, and then my little narwhal is Charmed and Dangerous, of course. Noelle stuff is awesome. So anyway, so that is in another one of Charlotte's bags there. So that is my, I'm in a meeting, or I'm doing a planetarium show or whatever, and I need something to quickly knit. I'll go ahead and go through the last piece of knitting here before I move on to other crafts. This is the Autonomy Cowl. This is a design by Rosemary or Romy Hill, designs by Romy on Ravelry, and she also has her own website. And I am knitting this in Cesium Yarns, established 1973, and these both support reproductive charities that support reproductive choice. So I am almost through the first chart. Okay, so you can see it knits up really fast. It's a garter, and then it's just got a little bit of lace section in the middle, and it knits up incredibly fast. It's going to be a beautiful cowl. There are some ways you can adapt it and make it longer or shorter. There is also a hack. This is DK weight. There is a hack for fingering weight if you prefer to use that. The yarn, I think I mentioned, was by Cesium Yarns. So this is Autonomy, again, in one of Charlotte's bags. So I need to probably work on that a little bit. It won't, I mean, you could literally knit this. If you're a faster knitter than me, you could knit it in a day. Like I said, Cindy knitted it in one day or one evening. I am not that fast, so it'd probably take me a good weekend to knit it. But yeah, so those are my knitting things and one crochet thing. The other crochet thing is in this bag. I need to finish my Mr. Domestic sunflower pillow. I have done all of the petals, and now I need to do the center. Okay, so it is done in Bernat Blanket yarn. This is the color for the center, and the hook is stuck inside there, so I'm not going to drag it out. But I need to finish that pillow pattern so that I can put it in the fair, because it's getting to be time to think about what I'm putting in the fair. Okay. So then, I have a cross-stitch thing to show you. I hadn't cross-stitched very much lately. Somebody noticed that. This is a pattern. Unfortunately, the artist is Russian. The designer is Russian, and their shop on Etsy is closed. Which, I mean, I get the point, but unfortunately, a lot of the people in Russia did not support the invasion of Ukraine, and unfortunately, when you do stuff like ban all Russian business, you hurt those people too. So hopefully this person is making it okay. Once their shop hopefully is back up soon, I can share it with you who it is. But this is a runes piece with the Tree of Life in the center, Yggdrasil, the Tree of Life. This is a Nordic runes or Viking runes or whatever you want to call it pattern. I had some issues with the spacing because I got cute and decided that I wanted to rotate my runes so that Fehu, which is the one at the top of the tree that kind of looks like an F, was at the top. it was over here. So I rotated it around by 90 degrees and, or pi over 2 if you're in math. I rotated it by 90 degrees, and then that meant that I had to adjust the spacing as I went around, and I got into some trouble. So I ended up having to make some adjustments and pick some things out and redo them. But now I'm pretty satisfied with the spacing. So the runes are done. I'm working on the tree. I'm going to go ahead and put the outer border now that I've fixed the spacing. I'm going to have to be mindful of it and make sure, because I'm also going to have some issues probably with it. But I think I can get it put in with no trouble. My plan for this is, I think it's about 8 inches across. Let's see here. Let's see what it is roughly. Yeah, it's about 8.25 inches across. My plan for this is I want to put it on the top of a hinge lid box. Okay, and I want to be able to store my rune sets in that box. So this is stitched on Fortnite Fabrics, one of their last year's fabric of the months. I think it's called Agnes. It's a 32 count linen. I'm stitching 2/2, and that's in Gentle Arts threads. It's one of their Simply Shaker or Shaker Simplicity. I don't know. It's called Mountain Mist is the color. So yeah. Anyway, so yes, it's got a hoop mark on it because I'm one of those heathen heretic cross stitchers that don't take my stuff out of the hoops when I'm not working on it. I just leave it in the hoop all night, and you know, I guess I'm into torturing my fabric. What can I say? Okay, so the last thing is I'll share a couple of sewing patterns or sewing ideas with you. I have got cut out, I don't have a picture of the skirt, but I have cut out the chocolate chip skirt, which you have seen me make several times, in this super cute manatee fabric. So I've got this cut out. I've got the inner facing cut out. I am ready to go on this. I just need to sew it up. And then I've got also cut out, these are free. The chocolate chip skirt is available from Tie Dye Diva on Etsy. From Peppermint Magazine, they have a catalog of free patterns that you can enjoy if you sign up for their mailing list. This is the wide strap maxi dress. I've got this cut out right now in some sea creature fabric. And then this is the pocket skirt. I've also got this cut out right now, and I don't know where I've stuck it. I cut it out, and I don't know where I laid it once I cut it out. It's here somewhere. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna try to get those sewed up this week as well. I've got some other plans that I want to try to get sewn up. So that's all my works in progress. We're not going to talk about any future crafting this week, so we're going to move straight on to acquisitions. Okay, so in acquisitions, I have my fabric club from Fortnite Fabrics. I'm doing I think it's Cosmic Odyssey Club, and it is all on opal. Ada, I get the 1/4 yard 18 count piece, and this month's colorway, or July's colorway, was the Helix Nebula. So this has got the sparkly fabric, or the sparkly threads in it. So beautiful colors. I'm excited. I haven't started using any of it yet, but I want to finish a couple of things that I've got going right now before I start anything new. But I did get my fabric of the month. I also got my Bird Crush Club from Lindy Stitches for this month. Let's see. This is this month. And I had last month that I forgot to show you too. So let me pull it out. I think I stuck it over here. Is this it? Yes. Okay, so this month, August, is the Lewis's Woodpecker. There he is. And then that is the, picture of him, or the pattern of him there. And Lewis's Woodpecker, I think, is a woodpecker that is in Colorado. I'm not positive. Let me see here. It says Lewis's Woodpeckers. Yeah. Colorado. It's over in it's like in the western U.S. So in the western United States, it's Lewis's Woodpecker. Then the floss they gave us this month, the Threadworks floss, is the beautiful kind of rubyish red color that makes his breast there. So there's the floss for Lewis's Woodpecker, and that's Threadworks floss. So I'm excited to get to use these. My plan still is to stitch these up as smalls and make ornaments for my big Christmas tree. Last month, since I didn't show it to you the last time I podcast because I had stuck it somewhere very safe, is the American Avocet. And I love these birds. These are some of my favorite birds. So there's the pattern. They're wading birds. They're very distinctive looking. And then the floss for them is that beautiful sandy brown of their heads there. And avocets are wading birds. I think they're really unique looking, even among the wading birds. And let's see, they tell where they're at. No, it doesn't tell where they're from. I want to say you can see them like on the Gulf Coast. I think I saw one when I went down to the Gulf Coast. I'll have to go back and look at my notes and see. But anyway, so those are my 2 bird crush clubs that I didn't get to show you the last time. Then I bought some charms. I'm going to make myself a pair of earrings and a necklace. And the charms came from a seller off, I think it's Eon Shop on Etsy. And I got 9 of these. These are silver ravens or crow skulls, okay, and they've got like knotwork designs on the tops of them. So I got 9 of these. I'm going to make a necklace out of these, and then to go, not necessarily to go with that, but along those same theme of the crow skulls, I got these 2 beautiful black ones there, and they have that Icelandic wheel, and I think it's, I can't remember the name of that, but it's, I'll put the name of it here. It's like a compass. It's supposed to be like a finding your way, directionality compass. And I got to thinking about it because the new Heilung video uses that imagery. So I was like, oh, I need those. I'm gonna make a pair of earrings out of those. So got those. And then last but not least, I did show this on Vlogust, so if you've already seen it, I apologize, but I bought a new sewing pattern. This is the Beau Soleil top and dress from Itch to Stitch. I like the style of the top and the dress. It's very figure flattering. I'm not a fan of the striped fabric, but kudos to her for matching those stripes up so well. But I like the style of the dress. It's an A-line style that's usually pretty flattering on me. So, and I like the cold shoulder. It's just something a little different. Never made one, so I'm interested to make it. But anyway, so I've got to figure out what fabric I'm going to make this out of. But I thought it was super cute, and then she had it on sale. She was doing different sales during the month of July, so I bought it then. So those are all my acquisitions for this time. So we're going to move on and talk about some science. Oh, before I forget, there will be a special Vlogust video. My friend Shirley came through, and we got to meet up for lunch, and it was so wonderful to get to see her and hug her in person. She was so sweet and generous. She's moving home, and she came through Little Rock, so I drove down and met her, and she brought me 2 huge trash bags full of yarn. Oh my gosh. And it's a nice yarn. So what I'm going to do for one of my Vlogust videos, maybe tomorrow, is I'm going to inventory that yarn and show you what she brought me. And then I'm going to put tags on it on the outside of the bags, because she was very sweet and put it all in like Ziploc bags and stuff. So I'm going to inventory it, and so I'll know what it is, and then that'll make it easier to pick out patterns. So that'll be like a nice yarn haul video if you like that kind of thing. So we're going to move on now and talk about science. Okay, so there's not a lot to talk about with what's going on campus, because obviously I'm still on my summer break, but I did take a, let's see, I guess since the last time I talked to you guys, I did a Girls in STEM Day for the Museum of Discovery. Had a bunch of 12, 13, and 14-year-olds, or maybe a little bit older even, young women who came to a camp on campus, and one of the speakers had canceled, and they were needing somebody, and a friend of mine approached me, my friend Ashley approached me and said, would you be interested in filling the slot? And I said, of course, I'd be happy to. So I talked with them for a while. I did a planetarium show for them, and they were great. They were a great audience, very engaging, asked good questions. So I guess I did that since I've talked to you guys the last time. And then also I took a class, from this group called Pickup, and it's for physics teachers. And they did a programming class where there's this programming language called Python. And it's a language that is open source, and it can be used for computational analysis. I mean, it can be used for other things, I'm sure, but it can be used for computational analysis. And I don't know anything about it. I am like a Luddite when it comes to programming. I took programming classes in college. I even won an award for programming in high school. I hate it. My mind doesn't like it. I resent I mean, I literally have like a visceral, resentful response to programming. I don't know why. But anyway, so I took this class thinking at least have a working knowledge of Python. They had it broken up into where you could use spreadsheets, which I'm very familiar with using spreadsheets for programming data and graphing and all of that, because I've used that in my lab for years. Or you could use Python or VPython, and they have these fancy programs, or you can use it through a web-based thing, so the students don't have to download anything. They, as long as they have access to a computer that has web, has internet access, they can do it. That's the route that I'm going to go. It was sort of a mixed bag. Okay. I did get some good ideas for my class, and there's a library of really good resources out there that other people have developed that then you can take and modify, which suits me fine. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I don't need to do any of that. But the organization of the class made me want to tear my hair out. It was virtual, which presents a difficulty to begin with, but we've been doing this for 3 years almost now. We ought to have this ironed out. Okay. They decided to instead of using Zoom, they decided to use this thing called GatherTown. Yes, it's cute. You make a little avatar and you walk them around the screen. And when you walk next to this person, you can talk to them. And when you walk over there, you can talk to this person. And then if you want to talk to everybody, you have to walk up to the podium. There were a lot of issues, in my opinion, with it. Okay. The first one being, some people just wanted to mess around and make their little person move all over the place, which was distracting. Second of all, nobody knew how to use it, so we spent probably 30 minutes every time we met getting people used to using this. Hello, Baxter. Getting people used to using this format that nobody was familiar with. Then, when people would share the screen, it would shunt you to a view where you could not see it. So you had to know to click on the different view to be able to see their shared screen. We wasted a lot of time, in my opinion. It was very frustrating. Even the people running the program, running the class, did not seem to have a good understanding of it. And they kept saying over and over what to do. And it was like, I know teachers make the worst students. Doctors make the worst patients. Teachers make the worst students. And I'm very grouchy about stuff like this, but it was a waste. It wasted a lot of time. The other thing that I found very frustrating was we met over 3 days when we could have just met one day. We didn't program at all. We just went through and looked at the library. I mean, I guess you could have if you wanted to, but they have a perusal course set up that you can go and look at. And we didn't program at all, which was really frustrating to me because I wanted to get some help with that. But we didn't do any of that. And we just talked, and we could have just done it in one day instead of taking 3 days. Now, I didn't go the second day because it was office hours. So I didn't go to that because I already knew what I was going to try. And I think there are some good ideas that I took away from it, but it really could have been a one-day thing, because most of the first day was all of the people who were presenting bragging about the stuff that they had used for. And you know, it could have been half as long, because some of them were showing things that other people had already done similar stuff to. And I'm really, after working with Amy's group over at Seattle, I'm really a stickler for program management and classroom management, and they did not manage that well. And I was, of course, I mean, it wasn't expensive. It was $10. So I got my $10 worth, if nothing else, learning about the class online and the materials that are available in the online library. So I got my $10 worth. So, I'm glad that I did it, in the sense that I see now that it is something that is fairly accessible. It is not a difficult programming language, which is nice to know, because that has always been my issue with programming, because I learned to program back in the days of Fortran, and I don't even know how to do C++. Well, I know a little bit of C++, but I hate programming. So I was glad to see that Python was a lot more straightforward than the old school stuff. But anyway, so yeah, so I guess that's all I'll talk about for science. I was going to talk just a little bit about butterflies and moths, because I've been showing those on my Vlogust, but I think I'm going to save that for a Vlogust episode, because I don't want this to run too long today. But yeah, so we're just going to go on and talk about farm life. Okay, so what's going on here on the farm, other than Baxter trying to show everybody's butt? He's like Simon about that. We got rain. Ha ha! We got rain. We had a little rain system come through that gave us 1/4 of an inch, and then about 4 days later, we had one that we got almost 3.5 inches out of over the course of like 4 days, which was a perfect drought buster. And then actually last night, there was a little pop-up convective thunderstorm that just happened right over the top of me, and I got another 4/10 of an inch out of that. So that was perfect. I'm very grateful that this very high temperatures seems to have broken, and we are getting rain again. I took beef to the processor, and you know, that's always a hard day to go. I'm having to really cull down, because hay is going to be an issue, I think, this year. So I'm going to take calves to the sale, some bulls to the sale in September. Garden, you know, made it through the heat. When things get really hot, a lot of the plants stop producing. And I noticed that my Trumpicino squashes, the squash are fine. They're fully matured. They've hardened. I'm going to have to take them where they can cure. But the plants are starting to die. And I don't know if that's just because they've lived out their life cycle and that's what they're doing, because I don't see any evidence of squash bug damage or anything like that, but they are starting to die back. So I'm going to go ahead and pick all of those squash and lay them out where they can cure, which means they need good air circulation and stuff. So I'm going to probably lay them out, funnily enough, on my rabbit tops and my rabbit cages, because they're wire mesh. And some of them are wire mesh, and the rabbits won't be able to get to them, but the air can circulate around the squashes good enough that they can cure off and be edible this winter, which will be nice. The other things like the tomatoes and peppers, they're still making it, but they haven't been blooming because it was so hot. Now they've started blooming again. I'm going to replant. You can replant this time of year beans, because they'll have enough time to make, and some squashes. So I'm probably going to replant this next week when it cools off a little bit. I'm going to go out and clear out a couple of my raised beds and replant some squash and some beans for fall. And then I'll probably try to do a fall garden with lettuce. And I've just about given up on doing cabbage. Cabbage is too much work, because the cabbage, of course, in the fall, the cabbage moths won't be as bad. But in the spring, they're just terrible. And you just have to use so much diatomaceous earth. It's kind of defeats the purpose of even having them. So, yeah, cattle seem to be doing okay. We had a little bit of weight loss because of the dry air times. I got some stuff for Chips's leg. I finally remembered what the stuff was called, and I bought the stuff to treat his leg with. So I'm going to get him up this week and start treating his leg for that proud flesh. You know, my horses are still at home. I have made the decision that I'm not going to worry about it. I miss riding in one sense, but I don't miss other aspects of it. And I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail about that, because deeply personal, and um, I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to slander people, but when there's differences of opinion that people can then harm you with, we have a problem. So, vote, y'all. Vote. Kansas showed us it can be done. Vote. Anyway, so I think that's all I'm going to talk about farm life right now. Like I said, I got to see Shirley. That was nice. And I'm doing Vlogust. If you want to see my day-to-day farm activities, you can go over to Vlogust and watch that every day. Yeah, so I'm going to move on now, and we'll finish with a few final thoughts. Okay, so for my final thoughts today, I was kind of torn about what to read, so I may read one of them during Vlogust because there was a really good one about ancestors. But I wanted to read one about strong women and how women are perceived in society. And by women, I mean all women, because trans women are women. And if you don't agree with that, there's the door. Anyway, I wanted to read something about that because very often women are berated for being outspoken and opinionated, and if you'll ever notice, when women are attacked for being outspoken, they go after their looks, they go after their fat, they're ugly, they don't look feminine enough, whatever the hell that means. They don't fit what this very narrow waspy mold of what they think women should look like is. I am one of those women. I am a larger woman. There was a TikTok that was shared the other day that said the only reason why men, or anyone, I guess, but they were talking about men find women like me attractive is they don't have anything else. The idea of someone finding a larger woman attractive on the face of it it's impossible. That they are either doing it because they want attention or whatever, but that there is no, the way this person came at it is there's no possibility that anyone could find a plus size woman attractive. Whatever. Whatever. I'm not going to make myself smaller just to make you feel better. So, I am who I am. But, strong women are often derided in society. And so I wanted to find a poem that celebrated that. So this is a poem by Marge Piercy. Marge Piercy is an American progressive activist and writer. She's 86 years old. She was born in 1936. And she has written a variety of different novels, but she's also written poetry. And by a variety of different novels, she writes nonfiction, fiction, science fiction. She's actually won an Arthur C. Clarke Award. She is very outspoken about feminist ideals and her Jewish heritage. And so this poem is by Marge Piercy. So, a strong woman is a woman who is straining. A strong woman is a woman standing on tiptoe and lifting a barbell while trying to sing Boris Godunov. A strong woman is a woman at work, cleaning out the cesspool of the ages. And while she shovels, she talks about how she doesn't mind crying. It opens up the ducts of the eyes, and throwing up develops the stomach muscles. And she goes on shoveling with tears in her nose. A strong woman is a woman whose head a voice repeating, in whose head a voice repeating, I told you so, ugly, bad girl, bitch, nag, shrill, witch, ballbuster, nobody will ever love you back. Why aren't you feminine? Why aren't you soft? Why aren't you quiet? Why aren't you dead? A strong woman is determined to do something others are determined not to be done. She is pushing up on the bottom of a lead coffin lid. She is trying to raise a manhole cover with her head. She is trying to butt her way through a steel wall. Her head hurts. People waiting for the hole to be made say, hurry, you're so strong. A strong woman is a woman who is bleeding inside. A strong woman is a woman making herself strong every morning while her teeth loosen and her back throbs. Every baby a tooth, midwives used to say, and now every battle a scar. A strong woman is a mass of scar tissue that aches when it rains, and wounds that bleed when you bump them, and memories that get up in the night and pace in the boots to and fro. A strong woman is a woman who craves love like oxygen, or she turns blue choking. A strong woman is a woman who loves strongly and weeps strongly and is strongly terrified and has strong needs. A strong woman is strong in words, in action, in connection, in feeling. She is not strong as a stone, but as a wolf suckling her young. Strength is not in her, but she enacts it as the wind fills a sail. What comforts her is others loving her equally for the strength and for the weakness from which it issues. Lightning from a cloud. Lightning stuns in rain. The clouds disperse. In rain, the clouds disperse. Only water of connection remains flowing through us. Strong is what we make each other, and until we are all strong together, a strong woman is a woman strongly afraid. So I thought that was appropriate for the times that we're in and where my head has been. So I hope you are all doing well. I hope you are taking care of yourselves. I hope you are enjoying, whatever you're working on, and that you are feeling good within yourself. We're all works in progress. We're all works in progress. So until I see y'all again, Willie, you gonna come up here and talk to him? No, Willie and Baxter, neither one want to say goodbye to y'all. So I guess you'll just have to see them on Vlogust. Until I see y'all again, y'all be good to each other and take care of each other. And peace out and vote, y'all. Bye.